The reason for putting forward this motion that your package really accurately describes is that the cost of living crisis has escalated to become a cost of living emergency because of inaction from this government. Our food banks in Eastbourne are among the busiest in the country. Poverty is on the rise in our town, and it is devastating to see so many people slipping into poverty or further into poverty as a result of this inaction. So declaring this emergency is about us in Eastbourne taking a stand. It is about us saying to the government, you need to wake up, smell the coffee, and take serious action to address the cost of living emergency that is making so many people's lives much more difficult. What do I want to see policy-wise in order to address this? I want to see a windfall tax. Tax the oil and gas giants that are making record profits and use that to help reduce bills for people by £600 a year. I want to see a cut to VAT for a year by 2.5%, which again will put money back into people's pockets. And thirdly, I want to see the triple lock for pensions restored so that pensioners who deserve that cash, every single pensioner in this country, gets that cash to help them through this cost of living crisis. We need the government to wake up here because right now it is very clear that it is out of touch and does not understand the issues that many people across this country are facing.
If your motion is successful, are there things perhaps the council themselves could be doing to help out, especially those most in need?
Absolutely, and there's many things that Eastbourne Borough Council is doing, having stepped up to support people in need. So, for example, in terms of the rebate that's being offered to individuals, Eastbourne Borough Council is among the fastest in terms of getting that out to members of the public based on similar processes across the country. But what we've also done at the council is councillors have discretionary budgets that have been used to support fantastic projects across the town that are looking to address this cost of living emergency. Projects like the Langley Larder, for example, that is enabling people to access food at low cost.
You said that in Eastbourne you believe your food banks are some of the busiest in the country. What sort of people are going to the food banks?
Well, I've done a lot of work with food banks, both in Eastbourne and in different parts of the country. And what's very clear is that actually you're only ever a paycheck away or losing a paycheck, for example, from slipping into a really difficult scenario that can necessitate needing to access food banks. I've spoken to very many people on the doorstep who are accessing food banks for the first time. They didn't envisage that they would be in this scenario, but rising bills have meant that they've been forced to make choices about whether they as a parent eats, for example, or whether their child eats. And of course, parents are choosing to sacrifice their own meals in order to make sure that their children do. I'm hearing this time and again, and it's these very individuals, hardworking people who are being forced into food banks because the government is failing to put the serious solutions in place to support people through this cost of living emergency.